Good evening, everyone. So this is video number 2 for this Sunday. So hope you're not getting tired of all these videos because I'll be doing another one on Tuesday, but that Tuesday one will be an evening tarot video. So all chilled out now, all relaxed, done all my work today, chilled out, had a snooze, all that jazz. Didn't go to the air show, which is going on in Bournemouth because there's just far too many people around. But what this is, guys, is your questions. I've got them all together and I'm going to give you the answer. Okay, I don't plan the answers, by the way. I just go with my intuitive, my knowledge, what I've experienced myself. And I just want to say, just because I'm saying this, and it's not saying you have to do any of it, it's just my opinion through reading and personal experience and what I've experimented with myself, and especially like with the crystal side of things as well. And that's that, okay? I'm not going to be saying any names of who asked the question. One, because they didn't specify if it was okay or not, and I don't like to presume. So I have my tea. I've actually got black tea with a slice of lemon in it. And it is yummy with my French jazz playing. Yeah, so I've got it all going on here. French jazz, tea, crystals. Anyway, so the first question, somebody asked, defining time predictions in tarot. Do you have to set the intention before the reading? And I would say to that, no. Timings are a bonus, basically. So if somebody has a reading, I don't always know a timing with every single reading I give. Sometimes the universe doesn't want that person to know when a certain event is going to happen, when they're going to meet X person, if they're going to be in a relationship, because it depends on that individual. So if the person is analysing, obsessing, the universe will hold off on timings, because if you say September, they may give themselves blockages by analysing every single day in September. What tarot does, it gives the blueprint of the person's destiny, it gives the underlying energy and the advice and guidance moving forwards, and 8 or 9 times out of 10 you will organically get some sort of baseline with regards to time anyway. Timing isn't overly important in my opinion when it comes to tarot. I mean, obviously if you're doing tarot and someone says, do you know when I'll hear from this job, don't think to yourself, can I have a timeline? Can I have a month? Can I have this? Because tarot doesn't know necessarily times like we know times, but it is so clever, it is so intelligent. The universal intelligence is amazing. It will tell you if you need to know. Some tarot cards, for example, the major arcana, are assigned to certain months, and if you get that, then that could be your timeline with regards to whatever it is the person is asking about, or if it's for yourself. But to answer your question, don't, in my opinion, you can do what you want, but don't set an intention for time, because tarot will give you the answer that you're supposed to know anyway, if that makes any sort of sense. So actually, and sometimes it's interesting how it works, because sometimes people can say, can you tell me about this thing? But there's more of a pressing issue that the universe wants them to know, and they'll bring in something else and then talk about the other thing. So there's no right or wrong way to how you present your cards and how you read and what spreads you use and all that sort of thing. But don't focus too much on time. Tarot will tell you the rough time rather than you trying to figure that out yourself, okay? So I hope that, and it makes it easier for you as well. Like, you don't want to give yourself too many pressures with yourself when you're giving a spread to somebody or yourself, because when you look too much into something, you just freeze, and it's almost like a writer trying too hard to meet a deadline. They get writer's block. It's the same with tarot as well. So don't focus on time, focus on the energies, focus on the message, and the time will come to you, okay? Hope that's answered your question. See, I'm just noticing there, I've got those like bead things instead of a door, and they're just moving, and I saw that. There's no wind here, guys. Anyway, any books to recommend on the history of tarot and universal astrology? I'll tell you something, I read a lot, I read a hell of a lot, but tarot books, ironically, is not one of them, okay? So I haven't read a load of tarot books that I can say, yes, I recommend this, I recommend that. When I first started out, I did buy a few books with tarot spreads, the classic ones or the ones that I know now, and that's basically all I did. I find I learn with things to do with tarot cards, I absorbed it so much better by practice, and one person's interpretation is somebody else's. And I know that wasn't quite your question, but this is also why I didn't really go into the reading books side of things. The history of the tarot, I've read many articles on it, and it's fascinating. And the woman who did the artwork for the Rider-Waite is actually buried in Cornwall, so there's a little fact for you. So I do know that. And she died poor, and it's that's an interesting story. So if you want to know about the artwork from this amazing deck, then I urge you to look into the artist. It's from the if I can speak properly, the Rider-Waite Smith deck, and it's that's interesting because of the timelines as well. When this all came out, it was still taboo. It was still like, you know, anything to do with magic or the universe was, you a crazy person. So that's where I would probably go down if I was to read. But unfortunately, as much as I would love to say to you, I'm automatically shuffling. It's your choice with the Lovers at the top of the deck there. Choice between two things. Funny. I just have to pick up cards when they're in front of me. It's automatic. And if you guys are, if you have cards yourself and you're starting to learn and you've got them in front of you, it's like a musician with a guitar. They won't be able to put it down. And same for you as well. Go with Google the Rider-Waite Smith deck, and there will be some neighbouring books which will be linked to that, and that's the best way. And if you're going to look into the history, I would look into the Rider-Waite Smith deck because it was the first one that came out, and so it will have more, I guess, meat to it rather than the other decks. But your journey will lead you to other things as well. Okay, so I hope that answered your question for you. Should gut feelings always be answered? Gut feeling should always be listened to, not necessarily answered at that moment in time. A gut feeling is right in your solar plexus, okay? And it will last for 2 to 3 to 5 seconds, then it goes into your body. Your mind then takes over. Your thinking mind will take over. And your thinking mind, the logical part of the frontal lobes of your brain, I mean, I don't know if that's medically correct, the frontal lobes, but they will go into the routine of flight or fight mode. They will go into the routine of your past experience, what you've always done before, and how you've always dealt with situations, and they will be the factors that will overtake the initial gut feeling. So many times, and I've experienced this, and you may have done yourself, that feeling, that niggle you have about something is there for a reason. It is your inner voice. It is your inner teacher. And the more we listen to the teacher, the more wise we get. So the more you listen to your inner voice, the more wise you get as well. A gut feeling should always be listened to. There's no reason why you shouldn't listen to a gut feeling. It is your alarm system. It is your survival instinct. It's just again, thinking too much about, should I listen to this? Should I, answer this? Or, that's your thinking mind. And ask yourself, why are you thinking that? Because this is your first brain as far as I'm concerned. The heart and the gut is all interlinked, and that is the hub of the mechanics of your spirituality, your health, your survival mechanism, and the brain just kind of coats all that, okay? Obviously the brain we wouldn't be here if we didn't have a brain, but it's just the way it all works out. Some people mistake an anxiety for a gut feeling, and that's quite common. If you feel it in your chest here, and you notice that you start to put your hand on your chest, that's an anxiety. And if you feel it literally like in your gut, that's why they call it a gut feeling, where you can't quite, it's in the kind of the well inside your body and you can't quite pinpoint something, that's the answer. There's always an answer in that, okay? So try not to mistake a gut feeling for anxiety either. Don't think, it's just me overthinking. If you can't shake it off, it's a gut feeling. But again, it's the initial 4 to 5 to 6 seconds. That's where your answer is, and how you maneuver with that moving forward. Do you listen to that, or do you not listen to that? Again, that is a choice that you make. But gut feelings, they're psychic. They are connected to the universe. They are the intelligent form tuned in us. And a lot of people have survived terrible, frightening situations through listening to their gut feeling. When someone says, I don't know if anyone said to you, but I've read enough crime books where somebody was asked out on a date. I remember the story, and she just said, actually, no, it wasn't a book I read. It was, documentary, murder documentary. Really fun, happy documentary, obviously. And this murderer went on a dating show, and I can't remember, you may be familiar with it. It's in the 70s. Nobody obviously knew he was a murderer at that point. It was a bit like Blind Date, but the American version. And the woman was asking the questions, and she was getting the three answers from the three guys and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, so he won, the murderer won. It's a true story. And then they obviously meet, it's wonderful, this, that, and the other. And behind the scenes, she refused to go on a date with him because there was something about him that freaked her out. Had she have gone on a date with him, she could have been one of his next victims. He died in prison. He was found out murdered by 8 or 9 women. And that feeling, what does that mean? That was her body. That was her initiative. That was her alarm system saying something is wrong here. There was no verbal communication. He didn't say, hello, I'm a murderer. Can you go on a date with me? There was nothing. There was no indication at all. Just a feeling. It's the unspoken word, how your body speaks to you. Yes, is my answer. Always listen to your gut feeling, okay? And if you're not sure if it's a gut feeling or anxiety, sit with it and see how you feel. If it's uncomfortable, and ask yourself, why is it uncomfortable? Is it because of an old pattern way, or is it because of just something you can't really pinpoint? Write it down if you need to. That's what I do sometimes. Which crystals to use? You can use any one you want. You can use any one you're drawn to. You can use any one that you find pretty just for the sake because you find it pretty, okay? There's a big misconception that you have to have certain crystals for certain things and they'll work. I have got myself a crystal that's known for abundance, but I like it because it feels like a hug, okay? So it's that warmth element that I'm drawn to rather than the kind of abundance element. So there's no right or wrong. It's always what you're drawn to. Try, if you are buying crystals, to see them face to face. Online, obviously, unless you can't go out anywhere, then you can buy online. But connect to them is what I want to say. So normally there's like quite a few. See how you feel about the color, see how you feel about the shape of them. They come up in many different forms. So I have, say for example, an amazing piece of amethyst here. I didn't go out looking for amethyst. I saw this and I felt instantly connected to it. 100%. Again, it's something you can't describe. The feel of it is really quite soothing. It's almost like a massage because it's got all these like spikes and things at the top, and it's like, it's nice to run over your palms, and you're connected to nature because of the stone element, and obviously it's all connected to nature. And I had this by my bed. And amethyst is amazing for the third eye. It's intuitive. It's a psychic stone. And it helps me with my dreams. It helps me with my paintings and all that sort of stuff. And then you could go to, say, a little bit of moonstone here. So this is amazing also. It looks amazing in the light. And this is a sphere. So you can roll it in your palms because, again, that's really, really quite relaxing. This is amazing just for clearing out smog in your mind. And sometimes when I'm reading, 9 times out of 10, I will use my adventuring, which is green, but it's still in the sphere shape. I will just roll it in my palms when I'm doing readings, especially over Zoom, because it just helps me connect that little bit more. And you don't have to have crystals necessary to hold. You can have it as candle holders. So this is orange calcite right here, and this is amazing because it's like it's a candle in there, and when it's lit, I should have lit it before actually, when it's lit, it is just a beautiful warm glow. And if you're drawn to that, then you carry on with that. And what you can do, if you're really drawn to something, Google and see what it means, and you'll find actually there'll be a reason why you're drawn to it. Okay, so that's my advice. Just have fun, go crazy with it, and they're there for you and you're there for them, and the bond will work really, really well. How do we set intentions with things such as water? This is a great question, and water, as you know, is one of my favorite things to talk about. Setting intention is really integral for being clear on what you want. We can use elements like scripting, which I do a lot, and I will do a video on that. We can use scripting, we can use a law of attraction, we can use vision boards. That is intention setting. That's being clear on our vision, being clear on our goal. And the more clear we are, the more definitive our results are going to be. You know, I've said quite a lot of times, wishy-washy thoughts create wishy-washy results. You know, if you're not sure about somebody, they'll keep giving you reasons not to be sure about them. If you're not sure if you deserve a pay rise, you'll get snippets of maybe you'll get a promotion, but maybe you won't be in the running for it. So it's being clear. Water holds memory like anything. Okay, Dr. Emoto did a study. He's got amazing books. If you are interested in this, by the way, read Hidden Messages in Water. One of the most phenomenal books I've ever read. My friend lent that book to me, and I read it. I absorbed it a day or two, and it was just, I can't even begin to describe to you. It blew my mind. Okay, he took pictures of water that had listened to heavy music, like heavy metal, negative words, and they were all deformed. They were dull in colour compared to the brighter music. Maybe they listened to a bit of French jazz, like I'm doing here, and good warm words, love, appreciation, gratitude, and they were the most beautiful formed crystals you've ever seen. They were like snowflakes, basically. So you can do the same. If that water holds that memory and that vibration, then you can do the same with your intention using water. Okay, so how do you do that? This is called quantum jumping, and it's nothing I can take credit for, guys. I did not create this myself. I discovered it and then I started to use it. I got amazing results from it. Then I told my family and friends about it, and then I started to implement it to pass on for people who hadn't heard of it before. Okay, so I'm not saying this is mine. What you do with the quantum jumping, it is, you get 2 glasses. Okay, one is full, one is empty. What is your intention? Do you want to have more money? Okay, so we're going to look at that with more money. Say, for example, at the moment you're not earning enough. So on one label or post-it note or sticker, I am not earning enough on the full glass. Okay, so that's where you are right now, and that's where the water is being held. That's your current energy. On the empty glass, you could put, I am earning more than enough. Okay, I am financially free. Don't say I'm out of debt, because debt is a negative and we don't want to keep that negative in. You keep it free, financially free. There's no limitation with regards to those words, but there is with debt, because it shows you're stuck. Okay, you're in the red and all that stuff. So I am financially free. Stick it on the empty glass. This works with love. I am not in a happy relationship, or I'm not in a relationship. On the full glass, I am in a loving, kind, healthy, loving relationship in the empty glass. Think for a moment with regards to what you're about to do. You're acknowledging your present situation of what you don't want, and you're projecting that energy into your future with a clear vision, using the energy molecules in water that's going to hold that memory. Okay? Sorry, hair on. Then what you do, once you're clear, feel good, by the way, when you're doing this. You can play music with this in the background. I generally just meditate for 3 or 4 minutes, imagining all that energy being transformed and going into what's about to happen. Okay, so then I pour the water in the empty glass and imagine it all changing. It's white light energy. It's beautiful. The water is now transforming from a negative to a positive in that state. Okay, and then I'm grateful. I'm thinking, yes, this is wonderful. I have a full glass with my positive affirmation on that glass. Things are changing, things are excellent, things are brilliant. This is also a good form of raising your vibration. And then what you do with that intention, you drink that glass of water, and your intention is so clear. You've changed the frequency of those molecules, and all those molecules, that memory is now going into your cellular memory, and it's changing. Then what you do, don't expect a result 10 minutes later, but it will start to change momentum. Keep doing that. So you can do that once a week. Don't be obsessive about it. Don't do it once every single day for the next 5 days. Minimum twice a week if you want to, and don't write loads and loads and loads on your post-it note. Keep it simple. Water like simple things. Okay, so that's what you do, and then you enjoy it, and then you feel lighter, you'll feel different, and you'll know you've done some quantum physics stuff without having to be a quantum physicist. Okay, so that is setting intention with regards to water. And again, have fun with it. Don't be serious with it. Acknowledge and thank the water, because without water we wouldn't be anywhere. And just every time you drink a glass of water, on your coaster, you can get a Tree of Life coaster. And when you put your water or tea, whatever, on a coaster, that energy is going in there as well. Okay. You can even put a poster affirmation on your coaster so it absorbs. There's many different ways to set intention. Okay. So water, as it was mentioned in here, that's how you do it. Let me know how you get on. If you have any questions about that, you can, of course, ask me. My French music stopped. Bear with, guys. And that's how you do it. Okay. Crystals for manifesting love and money. Love. Rose quartz. I don't know whether you can see, it's a pinky hue, but this is the good all-rounder for the love bugs out there. Okay, so love comes in many forms. It's not just romantic love, it is self-love as well. For self-love, you can use green crystals like malachite, aventurine. They're my two firm favorites because they're just so deep in color. You get different tones, but for self-love I like to use those, and I really like to have them in like palm stones as well, because the palms are the most healing part of the body. You can put your palm stone by your chest and just hold that energy in there for self-love, and that's a form of love. If you want to attract love in your life, now this is like a weird thing to say, wear turquoise. Okay, I know it's not a crystal, but the color turquoise, it reflects pink, and pink is the color obviously in love, and it will reflect love in so many different ways because it's the invisible, it's the aura of what we reflect that we can't see. So there's so much more that we can do as people that just speaks to the universe so much more. If you don't like turquoise, well, you can't wear it if you don't like it. But maybe visualize yourself in a turquoise flame, okay? And you will still attract what you need to attract, okay? But as far as crystals go, rose quartz is the firm favorite, okay? Also tiger's eye, because it's all about empowerment. When you feel empowerment with yourself, you attract the right people in your life anyway. And for, money? Citrine as well, because citrine is the master manifester when it comes to attracting exactly what you want. But remember, guys, with any kind of intention, you have to be clear with it, okay? If you're starting out on your crystal journey, I would say citrine for abundance, rose quartz for love. And whilst that seems like an obvious thing to say, it's very relatable, okay? Because what you can do, and what really clever manufacturers do, is they will put rose quartz in heart shapes, so you're getting that visual representation. Whilst it's not a crystal as such, salt lamps, so the Himalayan salt attracts the warm energy linked to love as well. There's so much more, because what it does, it diffuses any kind of fog, grey mist, negative ions around you in your aura, and once that goes, the purity, the white light, it attracts on the right frequency. Because don't forget, no matter what we do, everything is on a frequency. People who are in love, or people who meet the right person at the right time, are meeting that person on the same frequency. You often find people will find the love of their life when they're not looking for that person, or you find that they get on with themselves or work on themselves, and then it happens. And again, we can use crystals as aids, but they are not the only fixer to just find love for you and then happy days. So these are tools to help you on your journey. Cleanse them as much as possible, full moon, new moon, and treat them like you would treat a really good friend, because there's so much energy and wisdom in these that the connection that you will feel with them is like no other, okay? So citrine and rose quartz to start off with is my advice to you. Do twin flames return in this lifetime if they are the runner? And what this person meant by this is if they're the ones not getting in touch, basically. If they're the ones, like, you can feel the connection, but they don't do anything. Now, this is a really, really good question. And this comes up a lot in tarot readings as well. So first, what I want to say is twin flames are not always the person you're going to end up marrying and having kids and babies and picket fence and all that sort of stuff. A twin flame connection is different to a karmic connection, okay? So a twin flame, a person comes into your life to teach you about yourself, and you teach them about themselves, which is why it's never easy. It's never fluid. It is rarely fluid. In fact, I don't know anybody, including myself, that's had a really easy twin flame connection. There's always something. There's always unspoken stuff, but you know it's twin flame when you cannot get them out your head. They're under your skin. They can do the worst thing ever, but there's still space that you're holding for them. This is twin flame, and the lesson there is, why are you still holding space for them? What vice versa. There's this lesson that comes in to teach you. I can't speak today. To teach you something you need to learn about yourself. And if that connection with that twin flame, if that lesson has been learned on both parts, and don't get me wrong, guys, you can be with your twin flame if both these energies within yourself and the other are healed, and you're still in the proximity of being together, then absolutely you can. And then it goes into like a karmic kind of gift kind of relationship sort of thing, okay? But if it isn't, and you're not hearing from somebody, or you block them, or they just not get in touch, the best thing to do is to get on with your own life. As easy, as hard as that is, and as obvious as that sounds, you are always connected, okay? So you can go to live alone for 6 months in a hill, and you'll still be connected to your twin flame. When you start to get on with things and empower yourself, your twin flame will feel that energy also. When you meet somebody, your twin flame will feel that energy also. Their soul will panic, okay? Their thinking mind not. Their thinking mind might think, okay, well, I'm just happy doing my day to day, but there's something unsettling me. I'm not too sure what it is. I need to get in touch with so-and-so. And that is what happens. So the key is not to wonder. The key is not to sit at home and it's hard. Honestly, guys, I feel you here, because it is hard to sometimes loosen the grip on an energy when you know that nothing is coming of anything at the moment, okay? And it, through my experience and through my readings and through my own education with these energies, let it go. You cannot lose something that is meant for you, okay? If they are the runner, they will more than likely 95% still come back in this lifetime. Past lives, or where you go the next life, yes, they could come back, but 9 times out of 10, it is still in this lifetime. So I hope that's answered your question, but don't put a timeline on it. Don't think it's been 2 years, it's been 6 months, it's been 10 years. There is no timing in the universe, guys. And just because somebody isn't speaking to you, don't forget that their lessons, that their hurdles that they need to overcome, they're not acknowledging the connection in a weird way. They're just not dealing with it at that moment in time, okay? And don't forget, we have free will. And whilst we would really like that connection, their free will is taking them off the rails slightly, and they're doing what they want, or what they feel they need at that moment in time, and we can't control that. The minute we try and understand or control that is when we start to put a weight on that twin flame energy, and then it becomes more heartbreaking than what it should do. And it doesn't have to be that way, but my advice, they do return, and once the lesson is done, sometimes they just go, and sometimes they just stay forever, okay? So that's interesting. And sometimes, you know, how long can a twin flame connection be? It could be 6 months, it could be 6 years, it could be 60 years. Everyone is different, and you find that people come around again until you learn their lesson. And it's almost like they'll always be in your mind, but when that lesson is learned, their energy just falls off like a cloak, you know? And it's like, oh my gosh, how was I ever so into this? How was I ever so, you know? But when you learn from each other in a weird sense, and it won't always be obvious what that lesson is, and you know, they won't know what their lesson is to meet you either, it will become clear in the end with regards to how you feel about that person. So try not to focus too much. Don't kid yourself by going, yes, they're going to return, yes, they're going to return. Leave it to the universe, and just know twin flames, there's a reason for why you meet people. There's a reason for why people go and people come back. And twin flame energies do kind of draw back to each other at some point. But keep your vibration high, get on with whatever you're doing. And if you generally start to feel like, okay, I'm actually feeling quite fine about this, they will sense that, okay? Hope that made sense for you. What is divine timing? Divine timing is timing that is divine, set out by the amazing, intellectual, super duper intelligent universe, okay? I'm going to tell you a story. So divine timing, twin flame energy. So I was in this twin flame energy, and again, he was really annoying me because nothing was going right. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I meet him in a crowded place in a different town, in a different, I was going to say lifetime then, Hannah, it's not a different lifetime, in a different different town, about 4 hours away from where I live. That's divine timing, because we were meant to meet that day. He went off his own soul path by not meeting when we should have done. How dare he? And yeah, so the universe set it up that we would meet, and then we started talking again. So that's divine timing. Divine timing is being at the right place at the right time. So you could walk into a place and they could be hiring people on the spot, and you could be the perfect for the job, okay? I mean, obviously, that's just an example I've just plucked out of the air, but that is divine timing. Don't worry about how things are going to turn out. Just know that they are going to turn out, okay? Because when you trust in that process, the universe will show you how amazing it is with putting you in the right place at the right time. And these are always things, guys, most of the time we don't plan. The more we plan our life, the less it goes to plan. Do you notice that? Because the universe is trying to get you more fluid in your energy, and just have fun with it. So divine timing, right place, right time. Divine timing is if somebody is in a state of turmoil and they need to seek some advice, and they ring up a counsellor or say tarot or whatever because they need some guidance. Normally, if that person's fully booked, they've just had a cancellation an hour before and they can fit them in that afternoon. That's divine timing. It was meant for them. If something is meant for you, the universe will create your seat so you can sit down and take that place, okay? That's divine timing. So I hope that's given you, without being too overcomplicated about it. I mean, you can read so many books on divine timing. There is a book that I can't remember right now because it's in my bookcase and I can't see my bookcase from here. But I will pop it in the comments all about that, because it's about fate, which is divine timing, or free will, and it goes into what's the difference between fate and free will, and how do they kind of mold together, because I was always really confused about that. Well, if you've got free will, how can you get divine timing and all this sort of stuff? So I read up on it, and it's amazing. It's a really, really good book, so I will pop that in the comment section, okay? Tips for raising your vibration. There's many different ways. The quickest and easiest way is to put on some loud music and dance. Your body loves to move. Your cells love to move. Don't listen to anything sad, obviously, or anything that triggers a bad memory. Put on some dance music, or put on something that just with a good beat, happy lyrics, all that sort of stuff. Dance away, and that is a really, really good way of raising your vibration. Opening up the windows whilst your music is on, even if it's just a bit of classical music or a bit of chakra music, that's absolutely fine as well. Smudge away, and also a really good way of raising your vibration is to tidy your home. I'm not saying you've got hoarder issues and all that sort of stuff, but changing a few things around, doing the washing up, making your bed, hoovering. These are things that will all raise your vibration because you're ordering the energy around you to be calm, okay? When there's chaos around you, there's chaos in your mind. Well, you can't think straight, and when you can't think straight, your vibration lowers. Keep off social media for long periods of time, because if you're scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, you're seeing everyone going, oh, I'm so happy, I'm just so amazing, look what I got today, or I'm blessed, and hashtag and all this sort of stuff. If you're not in a place of alignment, you're going to absorb all that energy, and then you're going to do that subconscious comparison, like everyone's having a great time apart from you, and that lowers your vibration. So scroll, yes, don't be obsessive with it. I keep off it a lot. I just do my page and my Instagram and all that sort of stuff. So it's that's how I do it, guys. Obviously I meditate a lot. I chant as well, which is something I do every day, and that raises my vibration, and it sets the intention. Showing gratitude before you go to bed by writing it down, and every morning, that raises your vibration. And just smile, even if you don't feel like it sometimes. Not like walking down the street by yourself because people think you're crazy, but just trick your brain into thinking I have a really good vibration. I'm raising my vibration right now. Smile yourself in the mirror 10 times before you leave the house, because you're tricking your brain, and you'll start to see shiny, happy people all around you, or situations, and it's just even if it's for an hour, you've raised your vibration, okay? And that's so good for your immune system as well, okay? Yeah. Oh, actually, with the divine timing question, it was with somebody, I think, who had set up their own business. And again, don't be impatient with that, because whilst patience is a virtue, as they say, and patience is a lot of reasons why we come onto earth. We have different reasons why we have to learn certain lessons. Sometimes it's self-love, sometimes it's patience, sometimes it's, whatever. The more you obsess about when things are going to happen, the less it's going to happen, because you're not giving yourself a break and you're weakening your vibration by overthinking. And that isn't, so what you could do to the person who asked about the divine timing is raise your vibration with all those tips I just gave you there. And you could say to yourself as an affirmation, I trust in the amazing divine timing of the universe. The right things come to me at the right time. And just keep saying that to yourself. Write it down and you will start to believe it and you will relax and you'll see what I mean. So anyway, good luck with your business. So I don't think I've missed any questions out, guys, but I think that's like 35 minutes now. Hope that resonated with some of you. And again, this is only my opinion. You don't have to listen to any of it. It's just what I do as a, tip of the iceberg type overview of what I do with energy, with crystals and all that sort of stuff. So thank you for your time. Thank you for taking the time to write a question to me. And if there's anything you want me to elaborate on, or if you're not sure, pop it in the comments or message me, and maybe I'll do a part 2 and we'll do another version of this. Okay, other than that, guys, have a beautiful Sunday and have an amazing rest of the week, and I will see you as always in the next video on Tuesday. Take care.